want to scare you. Good morning, everyone. I figure I would start off with putting the video on beautiful little Mashuki and little Umi, my little finches, and just show you how they're doing. Yeah, they're out in the window. So what a beautiful inspiration they are to me, and they are so cute and so smart. I cannot get over it. So I'm going to flip the camera over here. Good morning. I hope you're having a beautiful morning. Welcome to Echo Art with Carmella-T. If you are new to the channel, we create with all recycled materials, fabrics, and supplies. It's our way to give the earth a little hug. We work with organics like raw wool, doing dry felting and some needle felt, dry felting with needle felting, and wet felting. And we work with cottons and silks and all different things. Paper. We just got this just recently, and so I'm going to go over a bunch of little projects here, but I wanted to jump on here with you to talk to that. Over on another platform, TikTok, I have found kind of another voice over there because for those of you who are interested, okay, in this way, where some of the current things going on today, I pick and choose very few of these things to comment. But if I see something where I can talk about it and offer inspiration or a positiveness on how to deal with what's going on today in our society, I like to share that. So I have found over there doing that is helpful. It's helpful for me too, because I like to be able to share if I'm looking at something in a different way that can bring some positiveness to people. As you know, see, look at my my t-shirt says kindness, and it has, look, it has a bird on it, okay? So don't usually jump on here this early on a Saturday, and I'm usually out and about and heading to my favorite thrift shops in my old stomping grounds. But as this video started, hi Betty Brooklyn, hey, and Himes, hey, Himes Hubble, if I'm saying that correctly. Hi guys, hi. So I jump on here, I started to put the video on my finches, just to kind of give you a little inspiration. Hi there, no, I think that was Nova, hi. Thanks for being here, guys. It's so early on Saturday, but I have a lot I want to share with you. Over on TikTok, I did some crocheting, and I said, you know what? The YouTube community loves to crochet along with me on some of these things. So first I want to share with you some of the pins before we get to the little gnomes and the little gnome hats. And I'll talk to you about how I'm preparing for the gnome class, because there's a couple different ways. A few of these ways are my just little creative way, but there's a few little different ways to make these gnomes. So check out these pins. You saw this one already, but I added, see that one? I added these little beads to the little safety pin or decor pin, because I was trying to find a way to dress up that pin. Oh, thank you, Nova, thank you. It is pretty. Wait till you check these out. And I just cannot wait till I'm done prepping for the gnomes for the class, because I just want to sit and make these. It takes me so long to get to these sometimes. So this is another one. This one I love. I just made this the other night. And again, I put the little beads on and this is what I did. I was testing it to see if it would work at all. And I was thinking, well, because I put the beads there's no way I'm going to be able to really pin it. I'm really not. You can't pin it after that. Well, you might be able to a little bit, but not much. There's about how you're going to do it. Oh, I did backwards. It's early, really early. So, but these can be pinned. But what I was thinking more when I did this was more of a little decor where you can kind of just hang it up as a little ornament, or you know, just put it on maybe a little bag. And so you can, but yes, you can pin it, and but it actually, this part of it would have to kind of go through something like this is how you would do it. So you're pinning it up on maybe your something in your little office area, or something you want to hang, maybe on a little strap of your pocketbook or something like that. And then when you go to an art and craft, you definitely want to show that, but I just wanted to get those little beads on there and make it something like that. Okay, so so that would go on like a pocketbook strap. See how pretty that is? So that's a little Boral Sashiko there. Okay, and I did the same with this one, and with the very same thought. So now what I'm going to do with these as I continue is just make them, if I put any beads on them, I would put them, look at that, isn't that gorgeous? So this one is just dressing up the pin with a little tulle again, and with the beads. So it's just a cutesy little, you know, I keep shying away from calling them ornaments, but I feel like that's what I'm making with these little charms. They're just like really little ornaments. Now, this one I left a little bit more room, so you could probably take this one and just get it onto whatever you're putting it on your blouse. But I just really wanted to put the beads on there. Yeah, thank you, Nova. Well, you know what though? I tell you what, I make the little mini, like these little mini wall hangings, Boral Sashiko, and I feel like if I could just focus on just that, then I could just make a bunch of pins. But I start making these and I get all like, oh, I can make this and I can make that. But yeah, you know, these actually could just be little mini wall hangings. They don't have to be pins. But I'm going to continue making these. And with the beads, I think, you know, just what I'm going to do with them so they can go on clothing. I just feel like people aren't going to put these on clothing. I feel like they're going to put them on something like their pocketbook, like a little strap or something. I just, you know, or on their waistband of their jeans where they have the little loop. That's what these would go on, really cutesy, and I think fit perfectly like that. So so I made these, and these, as you know, I made the other day, and I just have to get the pins on those. Those are really cutesy, and this one here. And then I'm going to make more magnets. Now something else I made, oh, I did bring it over here, is this. I just want to show you this. So this is cardboard, and I did a little fabric collage, and I did it on the other side. I just want to do it on the other side. And I'm like, well, okay, what is it now? So what I'm thinking, thank you. It is cool, isn't it? And it's the same, this fabric. It's this fabric I love. That is talking, it has the wording about coffee. and spices and the spice of life and all of that. So this is what I was thinking. Two different things with this is to take a little paper punch and just put a little punch there. You make a little hole, make it a little ornament, just a little, kind of like a little tag. And then take this, which I haven't done anything with it yet, and just cut it a little neater so it fits, and put this inside it, right? And make it so that it's for a junk journal page. You know, and I could put a little pin on that, and they can pin it in their junk journal pages. And we have yet to do more junk journals. The other thing I got out is, and I'll show you the gnomes in a minute, is these. My little my little coin bags that I usually make. These are WIP, but you see I just have them ready, and we're going to do some of these. We'll do some Kawandi inspired, we'll do some Boro Sashiko, and we'll just do some decorations. I have found these sell better, believe it or not, with an independent design on it. For example, like you can make your little designs like this, and you can put it right on your purse. So something like that seems to really be appealing to customers, I have noticed, for the coin bags that I sell. So you can do it like that. But we'll do these together. So this, I just put these here because these are an upcoming project I need to do more. Now the other thing I am behind on is crocheting the granny square beanies. I'm really way behind on that. Okay, thank you for being here. So what we're going to do is crochet today to prepare for the gnome class the little gnome hats. Okay, so I'm going to show you the gnomes and what I'm doing, and I'll tell you as an instructor what I am doing for the class is I am creating, I have gnomes, okay, with different hats. This one I made, this gnome I made last night, okay? And these I made prior, a while ago. So this little guy, what I'm doing right now is I made this little hat, and I'm just going to bring you along with me and just give him a little, like a little bow on the hat. And it's super simple. For those of you who are crocheting, if you want to stick around, this is what I'm going to also just show you. Let me share this with you before we get into the gnomes. So these are the little crochet bowls that I'm making, and I'm putting the little bows on there. And what I want to do with these at the Art and Craft Fair is put something inside, just like a little home decor. And I'm thinking, I'll show you the other bowl too, but to speak to you a little bit more about these particular bowls are crocheted. And I'm going, after I crochet them, you see the little fuzz there? I'm just needle felting them a little bit to give them a little of the fuzz look, the little of the felted look, but I'm using 100% wool yarn, okay? Now we're gonna come back around and needle felt little bowls like this with the lids. They have a totally different vibe going on, and they are absolutely adorable. But anyway, this is one. This one I haven't decorated with the lid yet, but I made the lid like a little dome. So, and I did needle felt the outside of this a tiny bit. So these are the little bowls, and I'll probably, hi Nova, hi, welcome back. So probably put something inside of each of these bowls to kind of just give the sense of giving an idea to the person or the customer on what you can do. You know, and I think anything, keep thinking a little Zen, but a little Zen item or so could go in it. But you know what, this I find interesting. Some of you saw me the other day on the video sharing my recent thrift shop find. So these paper twists apparently are pretty much for making, what I've seen out there for making flowers. That's what I've seen. But I'm thinking I could take it and make a nice little journal page with that easily. But I'm thinking of using this, maybe just intertwined a little bit with some tulle, maybe just put some little bows in there. Anything that is kind of giving a calming and a Zen effect and a little calming effect. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, so there's the bows. So for those of you who are crocheters, this little guy is his hat. I crocheted it last night, and I just want to crochet him a little bow. These are the same. So why am I crocheting all these hats? I'm crocheting them for my participants in my class, my artisans in my upcoming class, October 23rd. Yeah, out of crochet, yeah. I can make a shark. I can make a shark. Oh, I can make those little origamis or whatever they call them for these bowls too. Yeah, I didn't think of that. You can make anything out of crochet. You do not need a pattern. I'm just going to tell you. But anyway, what I'm going to do right now with this little guy is, so anyway, with the hats, what I want to do is, so when they come in, they have all different type of little gnome hats that they can choose from when they complete needle felting their gnome. Because guess what? They're not going to have time in a class that's a couple of hours to make the outfit of the gnome and the gnome. They'll be able to get the gnome made, but it's going to take them a little bit to figure out how to do the beard and the hair. So anyway, with that, I will just give this little gnome a little bow, and I'm going to show you how super easy this is. It's like just ridiculous. Now, what I was showing this on with this hat on TikTok the other day, and I needle felted the top part of the hat, and then I couldn't get the bow through. So, don't needle felt it. Put your bow in first and then needle felt. So, anyway, I thought I could really just kind of get it through anyway. I just didn't think it would be so. But needle felting is like that. It's like sewing. You're sewing it. You're creating another piece of fabric. So, okay, this is perfect right here. So I'm just gonna, now you notice something going on here as you're crocheting. Let me just, you see how it's twisting? So if you twist it a little, you just make it twist a little more. And watch the effect it has. It's a really cutesy. So I'm just going to double knot the end. And on each end, I am going to, because I just really like the effect, I'm going to leave a little bit of the tail. And, okay. So now with the hat, you can actually leave the hat on, or you can take, this is what the gnome looks like without the hat. This is WIP. That's his hair, needle felted into his head. Okay, so let's take this off. If you leave it on, let's just leave it on, because when we leave the hat on, we get a really good sense of centering of the bow. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it, put him down for a minute, And it just gives me a really good sense of centering it. So, and I want this bow to be a couple, like 2 knots up. You see the little gnome? Okay, it's too darn cute. So this gnome, had just made it because I can take it apart and show my class as I go forward and talk to them in detail and give them tips. So look how cutesy that is. I mean, come on now. Now for his nose, I'm gonna take a little, you can do a couple of different ways. You can take a little 100% wool, bye. 100% wool yarn, and you can splay it. Okay, you can splay it. In other words, just pull it apart and just get a little bit of the wool. And it works as a little woven, so you can give your little gnome a little detail. And there's so many other ways, so many techniques on how you can do this. And that's why I like to teach the class. So I'm going to put it right on its nose. And did I bring my needle felting? Yes, I did. My felting needle. And then we're going to go ahead and crochet a hat. You're going to see how simple the hat is. It's like ridiculously simple for those of you who crochet. Anyway, so I'm just... Now, I really do feel bad I'm not getting to my stomping grounds. But part of main reason is that... oh, well, first of all, my son is actually coming up here. We've got a cage that we're going to put together for the finches. Now, we think it's very, very large for the finches, but we can amend it. You know what I mean? You have the structure, you can always amend it. But, okay, look. So there's a little pink there. And what I might do is just add a little bit more of that later with, and maybe get some darker. I have darker roving on the other side of the apartment. But so now what we're going to do is just make a little gnome hat, okay? Super simple. So I'm going to put the camera down for those of you interested and you love to crochet. Oh, we will do that. Sorry about that. There we go. So there's my coffee, which I need. Our little charms. And I love the little hats when they stand up like this. Okay? I love it. So I'm just going to put the hats here so you can see. It means it's a really good yarn. Okay. Now, let's see here. What color? We have lime green, dark blue, a little peach, red. How about pink? And what I'm going to do with my class, for those who want to make holiday colors, and I'm going to show you this on the next video. We're going to make, I will have some fabric hats with holiday prints on them ready to go. So, I guess I do need to move this guy over so you can see. I'll take another sip of my coffee and then we'll begin. If you want to come along with me, get your yarn and your crochet hook. And, okay, so that there. I'm just getting this stuff out of the way. It's amazing the size table I have now, and I seem to need even more room. It's like ridiculous. Okay. So, I'll put this over here. So what you're going to do your slip knot that you normally do. I need to move this. All the projects that I want to get done. So I'm really behind on the granny square hats. And Oh, I can probably get a half a dozen of them done, but I'm behind on that. So make the tail, you know, at least several inches. And actually, when you do a piece like this, and okay, and this is like a JK, what is this? Oh, this is a 5. Actually, this is an I, HI. So it's just one below the J. That's okay. That's fine. I can work with this because I'm making a small piece. So, okay. I'm just going to do, I guess I do just have to move everything. I'm going to do a chain 4. You can do 4 or 5. You can do 4 or 5, unless you're going to make a hat like this. If you want it to be kind of pointy and you want to start out like that, then make only chain 3, okay? And then you're going to have this teeny tiny little circle going on for about 3 rows, and then you're going to add. So I did this hat over on TikTok, and I can do it again here. If you're interested, let me know. But for this hat, this kind of little round hat, we're going to make chain 4, and then we're going to slip stitch to connect. Okay, and then I'm going to do a 1 chain. I can do 1, 2, I can decorate it any way I want. And then in the very next space, I am going to do a double crochet. It just gives me a little length a little quicker, and it's easier for me to hold the hat. And I'm going to do a chain, and I'm going to go into the next space. Whoops. Trying to get in my next space. There we go. And do another double crochet. Then I'm going to do a chain, and I'm going into my next space, and I'm going to do a double crochet. Another chain, next space. Whoops, I didn't get in the space right. Sorry about that. Miss my lighting in here. I do better by the daylight. I guess I'm okay there. And then another chain, another into the next space. That's the same space. So starting to curl, so what you want to do is kind of, you want to get it so it's a little more relaxed. Okay? So we're going to do a chain, and I'm going to do a couple of double crochets here, right here, in the same space. It's working its way out, but I feel like I just want an extra double crochet in there right now. And you can just kind of gauge it as you go along. That's creative crochet. And I'm going to do a chain, and I'm going in my next space. And I'm going to do 2 double crochets in that same space, just for a little bit, just so I get a little more relaxed, a relaxed diameter. And yeah, hi Mashuki and Umi. You hear them singing and talking? That means they're really happy. Okay? So now the thing is, because we're working with 100% wool, we can needle felt this after, and I'm going to show you that, okay? Just how the effect changes. So we're going to do a chain. We'll go into our next space and do double crochet. And a chain, next space, 2 double crochets. I should say 2 double crochets in the same space. And I'm going to stop doing that in a few minutes, in another couple stitches, to see how nice and how nice the diameter is. So I don't know where my tape measure is. I should get my tape measure just so you have an idea. I just want to say it's about maybe 1.5, 2. Hold on one second. So because you probably want an idea before you start pulling it in again, okay? Right now we're at about 2, okay? We're at about 2. So we're gonna go a little bit more. And I just pretty much do it by sight nowadays. And the other thing is you can take your little gnome and you can try it on the gnome and see if it's fitting your gnome's head also. So I'm going to do a chain, and what I'm doing right now is I'm skipping, and this isn't a pattern, I'm just deciding to skip 1 stitch and do 2 double crochets because it has a nice relaxed area diameter to it. It's nice and relaxed, so I can skip that one. If I don't skip it, if I didn't, here, let me just show you, because for those of you, if you don't skip it, what's going to start happening, like if I went in right in the next stitch, it's going to be too loose. It's going to be too wide. It's going to be too much. Okay, and you see that very quickly. It's just, you see how it's kind of getting too large for what I'm working with. So I just know that I want my circle to stay concentric going around. I don't want it to go out more. So I don't want it that large, is what I'm saying right now. Okay, so I decided to skip a stitch and do 2 double crochet just to give me the evenness of the circle, okay, of the diameter of the hat. Okay, so now I'm just going to go in the next stitch and do 1 double crochet, and then I'm going to do a single stitch, and for just a little bit now I'm just going to stay like that and do a double crochet, chain. And you could actually do double crochet and chain and just do that for a little while around, and that right there would work just fine. It won't get too large. And if you think it's getting too large, you can always use like a single crochet. You can stop making the chains. You know, if you think it's getting too big of a diameter. Okay, so right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start curving this a little. I'm going to just go to double crochet with no chains. Now just watch how it starts to curve by itself, because the curving is tightening, okay? That's why I was putting the chains in. I wanted to keep it a nice relaxed circle. So as you do rounds, the diameter will naturally get larger. So when the diameter is getting larger, you need the chains, okay? So see how it's starting to curve? So we're going to just continue this, and this is fine, you can do this. The other way you can do it is just choose a stitch And you do not even have to do a chain all the time. You can do a chain like every 5 double crochet, every 5 single crochet, whatever you're doing, half double crochet, whatever you're doing. You could do it every 5 or every 3. I do like to try to be consistent, but sometimes when I'm transitioning from one round to the next and it's getting larger, I may, like you saw me do, I may go from 2 double crochet in one space to 1 double crochet in skipping a space. So this is naturally curving, and you're going to notice it. Now, when we're done with this round, what I'm going to do is, now you probably notice I'm working in the back stitch, and what happens is you get a little ridge, so that's a nice little design, and so you can do that. And what I mean by that is the back ridge is simply going in between the stitch as opposed to just going underneath in that full space. Okay? The reason I do that is I feel like it just gives me more height quicker. That's the only reason. And plus I really, really, really like that ridge effect. I think it's adorable. But we're going to be needle felting this, so the ridge effect may, whoops, I don't want to do it. Oh, that is the next stitch, yeah. Okay, so I'm watching to see if I'm getting closer to the end of a round, and I am. So what I'm going to do shortly is, oops, that's the same stitch, is I'm going to go to, I think, a single crochet. I'm going to do one more of the double, and now I'm just going to switch to a single because I want this, okay, I want the round, I want it to keep rounding, and I want to pull it in. Okay, so here, just for you, let's just measure this. So for those of you who haven't made a tiny little hat, right now we're at 3. Okay, we're at 3 inches for the diameter, and that's about the diameter of the gnome's head. The gnome's head is, you got to remember you got to stretch on that too. So the gnome's head is about, I'm trying to get this up so you can see. The gnome diameter of this gnome is 5 inches. We're going to easily get an inch or to 2 easily with that hat, because this guy is little. Okay, this hat, just to give you some ideas, diameter is, it's measuring, I'm sorry, 3, which is really 6. I'm sorry, I should have explained that. The same with this. This is really 6. So if it's a little tiny large, that's okay. Or you can pull it in and work with it until you get it to your 5, which would mean when we measure it this way, straight across, we're looking for 2.5. So what we're going to do is just start tightening this. So in the net, I'm going to skip a stitch here, and then every stitch from here on, right now, I'm going to do a single crochet. That's all I'm going to do. I might skip this one. I might skip a few here. And I think the first 2 is fine. Now I'm going to do, because now I've got a little tightened diameter going, and I'm just going to continue every stitch with a single crochet. That's what I'm going to do. And I feel good about that. I'm going to do one round of that. And then I'm going to look at it with you. We will measure it. And we'll say, oh, okay, wait. We need to pull it in a tiny bit more. And we need another round. And guess what? We're like done. This takes literally, this is in real time. If I wasn't even stopping and talking to you and I were just flowing along, it's like 10 minutes. It's 10 minutes. It's not more than that. And you're done. And you could even make the hats smaller. Like these hats, I'm adding way too much probably. I could even be done on half that. Easily. And just kind of set it on top of the little gnome's head. So you don't even have to make them this big. I just like them being a full hat. I just think they're cute with the hair and the beard. Okay, now I did a round, so what I'm going to do, so let's just put it down for a second, and let's measure. Okay, so we're at 3, which is totally fine, but we'll pull it in a tiny bit more, and so this is what I'm going to do, is I'm going to skip every other stitch or so. Let's skip every 3rd stitch, okay? So I'm going to skip 3rd stitch and do a single crochet. I'm going to do 3 single crochets. 1 in the next stitch, 2 in the next stitch, 3. Okay? I'm going to skip. Now this is going to bring us to the end of the round super fast. I'm going to skip that stitch, and because I want to pull it in. 1 stitch, single crochet, 2, and then in the next space, 3. Okay, now I'm going to skip again. I'm skipping a stitch, and I'm going to do 3 in a row. I guess that's how I should say it. 1, whatever stitch you're using, it doesn't have to be specific. I'm just doing that. Okay, now, and I'm going to skip. I'm going to do 1 more. I'm skipping, and I'm doing 1 more. Whoops, I went down too far there. I'm doing 1 more of 3 in a row. 1. So you see how I went to my single crochet. It tightened up beautifully. Okay, I'm loving that. Okay, this is definitely going to be 2.5. Let's check it out. Okay, we're checking from here to here. It's just under 3. It's falling right here, just under. It's about 2 3/4. That's what it is. So if I wanted to, because I just really want to show you how easy this is. Let's just give it 1 more skip stitch. I'm going to skip a stitch and do 3. Oops, I did that. I did that on the front stitch. That makes a difference in your measure, by the way. So it really does. When you do the front stitch, I have found it actually adds space. It adds. So, okay, skipped a stitch, and I'm doing 3. And I'm going to skip 1 more. And I'm going to end it there. And I want to measure it again. So measure from here to here. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah, perfect. Put it down. See it here to here. That's perfectly 2.5. That's perfectly ends right there at 2.5, okay? So that means it's a 5-inch diameter. So let's see how it fits our little gnome. And This little guy doesn't want to stand up. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to tie it off. I simply go in to the next stitch, slip stitch it, and then I pull it through inside, and I give it a knot here, and then I just weave it. And I will tell you, when you needle felt this, it's actually another sewing that's happened. In other words, you're sewing it actually like again. So I'm just going to pull this through, pull the tail through, so I'm weaving it and just making it so it's not easy for it to work its way out. I go horizontal, go vertical, kind of weave it. Now I can clip that nicely. When I needle felt that, that's going to adhere beautifully. So I'm just going to pull that. Now I can turn this inside out or this way, whatever. It doesn't matter really which side, whatever side you choose, you like the looks of. This is some thick yarn, so the little needle I'm using is a really little. Now the other thing I want to do before we needle felt this is, and we're not doing all of this in class. This is what I'm doing to prep for the class, is I'm just getting these little items ready for my participants. Okay, now before I needle felt, well, let's try it on the little guy first. Okay. Is that just too darn cute? And because it's 100% wool, you can needle felt it to him. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, when it's needle felted, it's going to even lose a little bit more diameter. So, but what I want to do with this piece is just get a pretty little bow on it. And let's see, we already got a green one here. So why don't we go with pink and red is pretty cool. Go with some red here. And this red, this is acrylic. This is not wool. So am I worried about when I needle felt? No, because this is totally the bow. This is a bow, and it's not going to have anything to do with my needle felting. And I could put it on after, but I kind of want to see what it looks like right now. And then and needle felting this is not a difficult process at all. So to make the little bow, again, I'm just making a chain, and just long enough so I can tie it through the hat, and get it through the hat, and just adorn the hat. Now, there's other things you could do. You can make these hats striped. You know, you could just do a tiny little granny square and make a hat. And, yeah, you know, we could do that too. Maybe we'll do that in the next video when I'm making the granny squares, because I really got to get going on that. And that will give me some really, really good focus. So I'll be able to just focus on granny squares for adults and granny squares for the gnomes. You know, I had hundreds of pieces of granny squares. I gave them away when I moved because I just had so much. But it's okay, because we can make them again, and with different colors, different designs, And so I'm just putting the little bow in and tying it a couple of times. I do want to get my tails. I did double knots here on the end, and I like to do it just a little couple of knots there. So now let me go get my little needle felting pad, and then we'll start. Okay, so what we can do with this, we'll give him a little hat. Let's just, we have to adorn this hat. Oh, that's the bowl. Actually, look, no, that is the hat. Look, that can even be a bowl. Look at that. Seriously, I'm not even kidding you. So you would make your bowls the same way. I'm just giving him a little hat for a minute. Okay. So what I'm going to do with this is there's a couple things you can do. You can make a little ball of fill, okay? And let's see, did I bring it with me? It's on, yep, of course it's on the other side. Let me get that. Okay, so this one is not actually fill, but it's wool. So we can use this. Okay, it's a cylinder shape. It's the same shape I'm using for my gnomes, but I can use this to I put inside the hat. Okay, and then I put the hat on the pad. Okay, and there's a couple ways to do this. We can just simply start doing this and needle felting this wool, or what I like to do is get a nice little effect of the wool. And look at it's just a teeny tiny little piece, but this is going to go a long way. Okay, just a tiny little web of wool, and then you just start needle felting. Now, because we have it on a piece of a modeling piece of wool, what I have to do is lift it frequently so I'm not needle felting the hat to my modeling piece in this case. If you're using fill, then it's not going to adhere. So, but you see, look how quickly that needle felted in. It's because this is the yarn is 100% wool. If it's 60% wool, it will still needle felt in, but just not as quickly and easily as what we're seeing right now, because we're taking wool fibers, raw wool fibers, and we're needle felting it to wool fibers. So they're hooking very beautifully together. So I start on the outside, and the wool effect is very, needle felting effect onto the wool is very, gives you a different vibe, and I'm going to show you in a minute compared to the red hat what I'm talking about. But you want to do both sides. So I'm just turning it. And I mean the inside is what I'm talking about. You want to do the outside and you want to do the inside. And another just very light piece of splay. That's all you need. And, you know, that lets the beautiful color of whatever wool you're using kind of shine through. And like I said, this brings the diameter down a teensy bit, but not much. But it's okay because it's a really good size. The top part of this is probably still 6 because we pulled it in at the brim, but that's okay. I mean, we could have just had it, pulled it in earlier rounds, but I just wanted to show you on the rounds how you do pull it in. So that's why it's a little deeper in height. It's just a little bit bigger in that way. Okay, see how I'm just turning and turning and turning? Okay, the needle is going through, but I'm not jabbing it like all the way down. I'm just needle felting the top part. So now, okay, now we're going to turn it and you're going to see how the fibers came through of the wool. Okay, you see it right? See the fibers? That's what you want to see. That's telling you it came through beautifully. Okay? Now, this particular piece, I tied the little bow. I'm not worried about it. It is not wool. It's acrylic. So now what I'm going to do too on this side is put a little splay. Hello, Umi and Mashuki. They're talking. That's them talking. Aren't they just adorable? Okay. So I'm doing the same thing. I just want to go all the way around and get a felted effect. Now the other thing you can do, if you're familiar and you know what I'm talking about, is you can agitate it with warm and cold water and wet felt the hat. And then once you're done with that, just set it like this onto a mold. A lot of people use a little ball. It's going to dry much quicker if you have it pulled over some kind of a cloth, towel that's on a ball. If you put it on plastic, it's going to hold that water way longer. Okay, because it needs to breathe. The wool needs to breathe. Okay, so this is just adorable. We're almost done already. But this is just giving it another little effect. Am I going to do this to all 12 or 14 or 15 for all my participants? No. I'm just making a variety of hats to inspire them and to give them an idea. I would like to make some gnomes for my art and craft fair. So hopefully I'll get the gnomes and the hats done. So now I'm just going to turn it, and you can see if you can see, this is just adorable. You see how the wool fibers are kind of coming out. Now what I'm going to do is a couple more things, just 2 more things. I'm going to put it here, and I just want to needle felt in some of the fibers again. 1 round. I just want to do 1 round. If this little bow is 100% wool, look, it's almost sticking a little. I could needle felt that right in. That would be kind of cutesy. But I'm just going to kind of go around. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is just the last thing I'm going to do. So this is a cylinder shape that works nicely for your little, and if you're looking for like to do an adult hat and you want to do something like that to an adult hat, just have a larger ball of fill. That's it. Just make a ball of fill and that will work. So now I just want to put this, lay this flat here onto the my little needle felting cushion, and I'm kind of going around the little brim a little bit and just getting the fibers a little more felted. Okay, now that's just adorable. So I just love this. Oh my God. Okay, so look at the difference. Can you see? You see the difference between your felted piece? Look, it's even more rounded, a little more, it's even more firm. And let me move this guy over here for a minute. And this is cotton, by the way. This one's cotton. But you see your spaces, there's your spaces. And the same with crocheted. You see your spaces. Okay, so here we took away the spaces, pretty much needle felted them together, or a little bit closer. So let's put this hat onto. Oh, this is so cute. I'm serious. This is just adorable. So he's got his little hat. Now the hat that goes with his outfit. Well, we could put this one on. That's cute. But this is the one that goes with his outfit. Now this is not 100% wool. That's why I did not needle felt it. Okay, so I hope that gives you some inspiration today. And hi monkey, hi. Okay, so I hope that gives you some inspiration today, and try it if you are crocheting and you have a wool yarn, which a lot of times you just find it at the thrift shop. You do, because wool is, people get the wool and then a lot of times they don't continue to work with it because it is very thick. It's a heavier weight yarn. It has a different, definitely texture to it. And a lot of places nowadays, with the heat that we have, people just aren't making the wool blankets and the wool scarves like they used to. But I gotta tell you, the wool beanies like this, if you make a felted beanie, they actually are, somewhat water resistant and can keep the heat out too. So it depends. So anyway, with that, I hope you have an absolutely beautiful Saturday. Thank you for being with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Love and light. Whoops, sorry about that.